Next Gen ATP players are fast making their mark on the tour in a way that hasn't been quite seen in honestly decades. This newer generation has the talent, athleticism, and belief to reach the top heights of the sport, and some of them already have, with the likes of Carlos Alcaraz and Holger Rune achieving breakout success in 2022. 2023 could potentially bring more of this, which is why I'm highlighting 8 young upstarts who I believe have the best shots at making a splash this season. All of these players, by the way, are under 23 and haven't yet had a major achievement like winning a Masters title, making a Slam final, or cracking the top 10, which is why Alcaraz, Rune, and Jannik Sinner won't be included. Starting us off is 20-year-old Swissman Leandro Ready. Many people have probably never heard of Leandro, but the young Swiss has definitely made a large and quick impact on the challenger circuit. Ready had a successful junior career as he finished runner-up to compatriot Dominik Strecker in the 2020 Roland Garros boys singles finals. His rise on the pro rankings has been astounding to say the least, as Ready started 2022 ranked nearly outside the top 700, and then he finished the year 157th. Ready's first breakthrough on the Challenger Tour came when he took out Maxime Cressy to make his first final in Lugano. His first title came in Helsinki, where he came through qualifying, and the following week he backed that up with another Challenger trophy in Adria, not dropping a set. Ready started 2023 in similar fashion as he just made the Canberra finals, finishing runner-up. Ready honestly reminds me of Jenson Brooksby, as his forehand is also unconventional yet effective. I could definitely see Leandro making a surprising run at a tournament this season, similar to how Jenson did back in 2021 at the City Open and then the US Open. Next up is another 20-year-old Swiss, Dominik Strecker. Strecker, as alluded to earlier, was a talented junior, winning the 2020 Roland Garros boys singles and doubles titles. Dominik has since reached 2 ATP level quarterfinals, both coming in 2021. His last 8 appearance actually came in his ATP Tour debut at the 2021 Geneva Open, where as a wildcard, he beat Marin Cilic and Martin Fucsovics. His other quarter showing was in Stuttgart, where he beat Hubie Hurkacz for his first career top 20 win. In 2022, Strecker won a few challenger titles, but he really began getting more eyes on him at the Next Gen Finals and beyond, where he upset Lorenzo Musetti and made the semifinals. Dominik does an excellent job of using his leftiness, especially with that lefty hooking serve and that loopy forehand. He is so explosive with his movement and is incredibly athletic, and he just slides all around the court and gets to just about any ball. Dominik has the ability to just grind back from the baseline, but he isn't afraid to come into the net and show off that net prowess. Strecker's no short of confidence either, as he said that he basically sees no difference between his level and that of Alcaraz or Rune. I do see him having a big breakout moment at a big tournament, which would propel him into the top 50, because the game and mindset seem to be there. Now, will that breakthrough be as big as Alcaraz's or Rune's? I don't know. Now, another lefty with recent challenger success is Ben Shelton, and the 20-year-old American is primed to make his first full season on tour a memorable one. Ben decided to go the collegiate route and won the NCAA Division I championships in singles with the Florida Gators, where his dad Brian was the head coach. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Ben has enjoyed a somewhat smooth and seamless transition to the tour. After making a few decent challenger runs, Ben started playing on the big stages in the summer of 2022, with his best result coming at the Western and Southern Open, as there he dominated then world number 5 Casper Ruud en route to the round of 16. Shelton also made his main draw slam debut at the US Open, falling in the opening round in a grueling 5-set battle. However, he truly began hitting his stride in the fall when he won 3 straight challenger titles in 3 weeks, becoming the youngest man ever to do so. This helped him clinch both his top 100 debut and a wildcard spot for the 2023 Australian Open. Ben is a bit like Stricker in that he can rely on his solid ground strokes and grind back from the baseline, but whenever he has the chance, Shelton will come to the net. He also uses his huge serve to serve and volley and finish points off faster. Ben just has a lot of flair, and he's an excellent shot maker, which is why he also has a lot of star power. I actually watched his US Open first raw match in person live, and court 10 was packed. It seemed like everyone on the grounds were clamoring to get a peek at this young star, rightfully so, as he's very entertaining entertaining to watch myself. Ben has the potential to be the big face of American men's tennis, and I think 2023 will be a good opportunity to showcase his talent to more adoring fans. Now, I don't expect Ben to come out the gate swinging, as his trip down under is actually his first time playing tennis outside of the States. I think it will take him a minute to adjust, but I think he'll be just fine in the end. Moving on, 21-year-old Czech Yuri Laheshka looks to build upon his repertoire of top 20 victories in this present season. Laheshka achieved a lot of milestones early in 2022 as he qualified for his first Slam main draw at the Australian Open, losing to Dimitrov in the first round. A month later, he won his first ATP main draw match at the Rotterdam 500, beating Denis Shapovalov in the first round. He went on to reach the semifinals, pushing Tsitsipas to 3 sets. Yuri, though, found it a bit tough to consistently bring that level to the pros, but still he had success on the Challenger circuit, which helped him achieve a career high ranking of 59 that summer. Laheshka also qualified for the Next Gen Finals, where he finished runner-up. I personally first saw Yuri play at the 2023 United Cup, actually very recently, where he dominated Alex Zverev in straight sets. Now, even though Zverev was just coming back from injury, it was his first match since that ugly ankle turn at Roland Garros. Laheshka just thoroughly outplayed him and outdid him really at his own game. He was very solid from the ground, and he showed his nerve pretty much throughout the entire match. Even when things didn't go his way, he showed great resolve and just fought all the way through. And I thought Zverev would come back in that match, but Yuri, he showed great mental toughness, and it's a great sign for things to come. Laheshka has a lot of key components necessary to be a consistent top player. His serve is strong, and so is his return. And he also takes advantage of every opportunity to move forward, which shows that he's not one-dimensional like Zverev. Yuri also doesn't have a glaring weakness groundstroke-wise, as both his big, heavy forehand and penetrating backhand can help dictate and finish points. I feel like he can become a little bit too comfortable with grinding points out from the baseline, which won't get him as far against the top players. I do think he'll find more success whenever he decides to step up more consistently and be more aggressive from the ground. 21-year-old American Brandon Nakashima hopes to continue his consistent, steady rise in 2023 while reaching even greater heights. Brandon showed great promise as a youngster and played 1 year of collegiate tennis at UVA before deciding to turn pro. Brandon played his first ATP main draw match at the 2020 Delray Beach Open, eventually making the quarterfinals. He made his Slam debut later that season at the US Open, getting 1 win before losing to runner-up Zverev in round 2. Now, the summer of 2022 was major for Nakashima, as he made his first 2 ATP finals back-to-back in Los Cabos and Atlanta. This helped him crack the top 100 for the very first time, and he continued to gradually elevate the following season. In 2022, Brandon won his first tour title in San Diego, which helped him reach the top 50. Honestly, Nakashima's ranking would be even higher if Wimbledon awarded points last year, as he made the round of 16 at SW19, pushing eventual runner-up Nick Kyrgios to 5 sets. Nakashima is one of those players that's just solid on all fronts. He's strong from the baseline, and his backhand especially is a big weapon. He challenges a lot of top players, and even though he lost most of his matches to them, they were always pretty competitive. Brandon ended his 2022 season on a high, winning the Next Gen Finals in Milan, taking all 5 matches. Tsitsipas, Sinner, and Alcaraz were the last few previous champions of the Next Gen Finals, and they all cracked the top 10 the following year they won it. So will the trend continue with Nakashima? We'll just have to wait and see. Another 21-year-old, Jack Draper, hopes to follow in his idol Andy Murray's footsteps by becoming Great Britain's next great talent. Jack first made waves on the tour during the 2021 grass season, where he took out Jannik Sinner at Queen's for his first ever ATP win. Draper then took a set off eventual champion Novak Djokovic at Wimbledon in the first round. Jack reminds me of Denis Shapovalov a bit because they're both big hitting lefties with huge games. Draper's serve is a massive weapon, and he's able to back it up by winning free points and serving and volleying too. His explosive game complements the faster grass and hard courts, which is where most of his success came in 2022. During the grass period, Draper made his first ATP semifinal in Eastbourne before winning his first Slam match at Wimbledon. Jack also had a solid US Open hardcourt swing as he made the Montreal quarterfinals, beating Tsitsipas that tournament, and then he picked up another top 10 win after upsetting Felix Auger Aliassime in the US Open second round. Now, though Draper is talented, he's similar to Shapovalov too in that he can be a bit more inconsistent with his game. The forehand can be exposed whenever he's rushed more on that side due to his more unorthodox takeback. There's honestly quite a bit of room for improvement for the young Brit, which is kind of scary when you consider how solid Draper's game already is. I see him cracking the top 30 for the first time this year, where he'll be seeded for at least one slam. Now, moving back across the pond, American Sebastian Korda is poised to follow after his father Peter's footsteps by making bigger moves this season. Sebastian was a talented junior player and won the 2018 Australian Open boys singles title. Sebi had his first breakout at the 2020 French Open, where he reached the fourth round. Korda gradually built upon that success year by year and was knocking on the door a few times in 2022 for that one big standout result. He did beat Cam Norrie in the Australian Open first round, but he had the opportunity for his biggest ever career win over Rafael Nadal, fumbling a 5-2 third set lead at Indian Wells. He was able to beat another strong Spaniard in Carlos Alcaraz at Monte Carlo, and soon after achieved his career high ranking of 30 in the world. The American did finish the season strong too, reaching back-to-back indoor finals in Gijón and Antwerp. Sebi has a great all-around game, which is why he's had success on every surface. However, I think his biggest issue is more mental and being able to win these close, winnable matches. This has prevented him really from being in the top 15 or higher as his potential allows. Korda's honestly been a young player to watch for a while, but I decided to include him here because I think he'll really begin hitting his stride in 2023 and potentially challenge for big titles. He's already shown great signs for that, making the Adelaide final in his first week of action this year. Now, before I get to the number one player to watch here, I want to highlight some other youngsters who I think will rise in the ranks as well. American Emilio Nava was a top US junior player and has slowly started to make moves on the pro circuit. He tested Andy Murray a bit at the US Open last year, and I think he could have a similar strong showing in 2023. Rinky Hijikata is another man who impressed me at last year's US Open. I first heard about Rinky when he played Nadal in that first round, and I was impressed by how much he pushed the Spaniard there. He has a big game with a lot of potential, but a main problem I see is that he primarily brings his best tennis against high-ranked opposition and tends to flop against players ranked below him. 19-year-old Italian Luca Nardi is another player that shot up the rankings due to challenger success last season. Nardi won his first ATP main draw match last season in Astana and will surely notch a few more in 2023. Lastly, I'm shouting out 21-year-old Canadian Gabriel Diallo. Diallo recently turned pro, foregoing his remaining years of eligibility as a Kentucky college player. Gabriel's had moderate success on the Challenger Tour and he won his maiden title in Granby during the summer. I foresee him having even more success here while potentially taking a few scalps on the main tour. Now, last but not least is 20-year-old Italian Lorenzo Musetti. Musetti had a lot of success on the juniors, winning the 2019 Australian Open boys singles title. Musetti made his tour main draw debut in 2020 and became the first player born in 2002 to win an ATP match when he came through qualifying to make the Rome round of 16, beating Stanislav Wawrinka and Kei Nishikori in the process. Lorenzo had another breakthrough the following year at the biggest clay tournament, Roland Garros. There he made his first slam second week and held a 2-6-love advantage over eventual champion Novak Djokovic before the Serb stormed back to dominate. Musetti honestly struggled a lot after that loss and actually squandered another 2-6-love lead at the 2022 French Open to Stefanos Tsitsipas. The Italian finally maximized his potential when he won his first ATP Tour title at the Hamburg 500, beating Carlos Alcaraz in the final. That win was huge for Lorenzo as it propelled him inside the top 30 and gave him the confidence he needed to pick up another title in his home country later that year and make his first Masters quarterfinal, where he upset Casper Ruud en route. Lore's tennis is very pleasing to watch, especially with that deadly one-handed backhand. Musetti has a lot of variety too and can win points in a variety of different ways. I've also been impressed by what I've seen so far in his United Cup matches this year, and he seems to have gotten even stronger and faster during the offseason. I feel like he's honestly primed for a debut Masters 1000 title at this point, and lucky for him, the clay and hard are about equally his favorite surfaces. That's all I have for y'all, and let me know which players you think will have the biggest breakthroughs this season in the comment section below. Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.